right? Like, how do you define that? And that's what's so tricky. What I like so much about their study is they're actually just counting yawns. There's no question. There's no question. Like, you yawned or you didn't yawn. It's fairly binomial. We'll get into what that means today. It's either you did or you didn't. I got nervous when I first saw what they were handing out. I did it in my 244 class this morning. I think I just yawned. So cute. There was all those numbers that brave and joyous and whatever the other words that were on that. I was like, oh God, I'm on a Likert scale. And I'm thinking to myself, another freaking Likert scale. It's not going to say anything. And they totally pulled the wool over my eyes. They didn't care. They don't care what you wrote on the paper. They were watching your guys' reaction to the pictures. Genius. Get you going one way so that you uncontrollably act on, if there is an effect, you're acting on that effect. Now, there might not be one. I was trying to be kind of sly and watch you guys too because I knew what they were doing. I didn't see a whole lot. Did anybody yawn during the presentation? You don't remember? You did, Kayla? I don't know.
I've been yawning all class.
You're yawning all class. You had coffee before. Oh, an uncontrolled variable. Coffee versus no coffee. It's possible. I like the question about the morning classes. That was good, whoever asked that one. That was good. Kayla's tired. You wrote tired? Tired. That's good.
I just described the pictures. I didn't really.
Hey, that's cool. Because remember, they're not even looking at what you're writing anyway. It's just whether or not you physically yawned or not. Pretty clever. Clever. Thank you for participating. Much appreciated. That'll be you guys in whatever your research class is next before you know it. All right. So speaking of probability, I always strive. I strive to show you how probability is meaningful in your everyday lives. Now, what I want to do right now is I just want to introduce what you're looking at. We had, up until 2 months ago, a chicken flock of 4 chickens. These were those 4 girls as babies. Bertha, Mary, Nancy, Marge, named after my wife's and my grandmother's. They are now 3? Yeah, this was 3 years ago, right here. Max was 3. We got them, they come in a little box like a Happy Meal. It's adorable. They come in a little box right there, and they come up, they're covered in poop. And then you get them out. That's Marge. They're called day-olds at this point. They're 1 day old. They're tiny, like little marshmallow peeps. That's Max with all 4 of them. There's Bertha, there's Mary, there's Nancy, and there's Marge. They work again. Recently, we picked up 4 more. We now have, May, Gertrude, Agnes, and Fern. That's their names. So we ran out of grandmother's names, so we had to think up some good, like, grandmother-sounding names. And that's Max collected some eggs at the end of the day. The reason we got 4 more... Anybody keep chickens in here? Anybody keep chickens? A couple of you guys do. We had this discussion before, I think. Yeah. Once they hit 3 years, they're down to about 20% of their egg-laying capacity, their maximum egg-laying capacity. You guys already charted their data. That was the data on the original 4 when they were in their prime. The new girls haven't started laying yet. I'm hoping they're all girls. That's the next question. That's the whole point we're talking about this right now. You're already talking about their egg-laying production, and that's fantastic. My big question, these 4 are girls. They're girls, they all lay, so I know that. The 4 new ones are still so small they haven't started laying yet, and I'm not sure if they're all girls or not. So when you buy them, if you've ever bought chickens before, they tell you at the store, and you guys correct me if you've heard a different number. I was told we got them at High Desert Ranch at home, over on the east side of town. And you know, you walk in, you got this box. They come in this little box, right? And they said they've been sexed. They're called pullets. Well, they've been sexed as a girl. And you guys correct me if I'm wrong about this too. They're sexed as pullets. What are they sex them as roosters. What is that called? Is that called anything? I've never seen it in High Desert where they have like a box full of roosters.
They're illegal.
They're illegal?
Not illegal. I don't think you're supposed to have them within city limits.
Oh, because of noise.
Yeah.
Probably. Yeah, that makes perfect sense, doesn't it? So they're sexed female. And my first question I had is, how the hell do you tell? The thing's this big. How do you know if it's a boy or a girl? They said, well, it's a scientific process. I'm like, okay, that's fine. And somebody actually at 105 last term explained it to me, how they did it. I forget who it was. Somebody that sat over here on the side of the room. They explained there's like a poop test you can do. Like squeeze them. Oh, this person used the word poop.
We tried, but it's really, really hard.
So here's one my friend Monty told me. If anybody's going to get chickens, try this one out and see if it works. His theory, this is 100% reliable. Grab the day-olds by the feet, turn upside down. Now, I felt terrible doing that, so I supported their back too. Because as soon as I picked upside down, I started freaking out. Put my hand on their back. If they try to come up and peck your hand, his theory is it's a rooster. If they kind of just chill out and relax, it's most likely a chicken. All 4 of ours relaxed. All 4 of the new girls. I didn't know this 3 years ago with the original batch of 4. So all 4 of mine chilled. So I'm going to see what we get now. See if we get girls or boys. See if they start laying eggs over the summer. Try that. If anybody's into new chickens, try that. Let me know if it works. I'll let y'all compare data. But anyway, at the time, we walk into the store, and I go, well, how do you know? And he said it was scientific, and I'm like, okay, so you obviously there's a chance that you're wrong, right? And he said, yeah. I said, well, what's the chance? And he said, well, the chance that these girls are actually girls is 90%. And I thought about that for a couple seconds, and then I looked down at my little box, and I said, that means there's a 1 in 3 chance I've got a rooster in this box. To which he goes, okay, magic boy, how the hell do you know that? After which I gave him the lesson we're going to walk through today. And he was totally stoked. He was like, oh my God, that's so freaking cool. Does anybody know how I was able to come up with that relatively quickly? There's a 1 in 3 chance. If this number is a big if this number is correct, 0.9, then there is a 1 in 3 chance that there is at least 1 rooster in that box.
How many's in the box?
4. We originally bought 4. Actually, we bought 4 both times.
You go 1 in 10 times 1 in 10. 1 in 10.
You hear what Kelly's saying? Hang on. I'm hearing a 1 in 10. I'm hearing a 1 in 10 times 1 in 10, just 4 times, right?
Yeah.
What is that the chance of, right there? Thank you, sister. This is wonderful. What is that the chance of?
Of a boy.
How many boys? That's a chance of 4 boys, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now this is, let's go, this is 1 in 10,000, right? This is the chance of all 4 of those chicks are all male. Now, before we get too carried away, was that legit? Is it legit to do that? 1/10 times 1/10 times 1/10 times 1/10. Who says yes?
If that percent is correct.
Well, good. Let's assume, Michaela, thank you. Let's assume the 0.9 is correct. Let's assume that we can bank on what the guy told me at the store. And if you guys heard something similar, if you guys that have chickens, 0.9, 90%. Anybody heard a different number? We'll go 90% for right now. Okay, we'll use 90%. So the chance of a pullet being female is 90%. That's 1 single pullet being female is 90%. And the chance of 1 single pullet actually being male is the other 10%. I've also been told, and I've read this online, that there is a 1 in 10,000 chance that a pullet contains both sexes. It's been reported. It's been reported. I'm here to tell you that it's such a small percentage that it doesn't affect these that much, and we can ignore it. I did run the math. We can show it to you later if you want to see it. Make a quiz around it or something like that. It's fun math. I was also told that it's very rare to have a chicken lay an egg inside of an egg. Marge has done it 3 times. I don't think it's that rare. Other than that, I got a weird Orpington. So, regardless, rare, interesting. Anyway, Kelly has just given us the probability that 4 chicks are all boys. But what assumption did she make? What assumption did she just make about the 1? Is it okay to call the first bird 1 in 10, the second bird 1 in 10, 1 in 10, and 1 in 10? Do you remember from your second project why I'm bringing this up?
4 and 10, 3 and 10.
You see, now the question I have, and Stevens hit it, this would be sampling with replacement. Theoretically speaking, yes? That would be sampling with replacement. In other words, grabbing a chick, checking the sex, throwing it back in the mix, stirring them up, and picking another chicken out. That's technically not what we did. We technically grabbed one, well, Max grabbed one, threw it in a box, and went home with it. So the question I have is it okay to pretend like we threw it back in? Well, exactly mathematically, no. But here's the deal. There were like 1,000 birds in the store that day. Okay? I mean, literally, it was chaos. You know how the Pacific tree frogs are out right now? Which I love. I fall asleep to those every spring until like mid-June. It's absolutely wonderful. The chicks are a similar sound, but they're all in one big Tupperware bin. It's kind of strange if you've been in a ranch store when they're all chirping. It's kind of soothing and aggravating all at the same time. But there's a lot of them in there. So let's say it was 1,000, okay? So let's also do sampling without replacement. I like what Stephen just... So this, in other words, what we're doing is, we're throwing back to your second project for a moment and seeing if we have to worry about it. Isn't this nice math to do? 1/10 times 1/10 times 1. Isn't that nice? Simple. If we have to do it without replacing it, we got to be a little more careful about it. So what is 1 in 10 if we apply it to 1,000 birds? What would it be if it was 1,000 birds? It would be, say that again, Eric. I thought I heard your voice. It'd be 100 out of 1,000, right? That's 1 in 10. But that's the idea that Max went in and grabbed one of those and it ended up in our little box right there, correct? Okay, so now he goes back in. What's the chance he grabs a boy now? 99 out of 999, right? That's once again 1 in 10? Ish. Because he's grabbing one of the remaining roosters out of the one of the remaining 99 roosters out of the 999 birds that are still there. And then
98.
out of 998, right? And then last but not least, what does that work out to be? I don't know. Let's find out. It's 100 times 99 times 98 times 97 divided by 1,000 times 999 times 998 times 997. I get 0.00094. This is exactly equal to 0.0001. How much of a difference is there between that and that? 1 in 100,000, right? Not even 1 in 100,000 actually. This rounds to that. If you truncate this down to 4 decimals, that would make that become a 1. It's a little bit below, but it's hardly enough to get upset about. Now this is a pain in the ass, right? This calculation, Liv is like, yes, why did you even bring it up? Well, I brought it up because we should do it this way mathematically, shouldn't we? But do you see how we got close to the correct answer up here? And this math was easier to do? That's why this wins. When you can get close enough to the true value sampling with replacement, even if you should technically be sampling without replacement, if the math works out close enough, then do it the easy way. So now, of course, the next question is going to be what? What's close enough? Fantastic. Here's a good rule of thumb to use, Aaron, and everybody for that matter. How many chickens did me and Max grab out of that store?
4.
How many were in the whole store? About 1,000. If you're taking an extraordinarily small sample from an extraordinarily large population, this is going to give you almost the exact same results as this. So what, again, Aaron's going to ask, what's extraordinarily small? Here's a good guideline for you guys that were like what Sherry and Angie were just doing. If you can be relatively convinced that you're sampling less than 5% of your population, go ahead and do it the easy way. There's no reason to do it the hard way if you're sampling a really tiny chunk. Another yawn, very good. I'm now seeing yawns all over the place. So if you can predict that you're getting less than 5% of your population, Gallup, for example, when Gallup does a poll, they survey 2,000 Americans. Have they gotten less than 5% of Americans? Good Lord, yes. Now Tony's yawning. I love this. I'm seeing them all. I'm seeing it all happen. Yes, so Gallup can go ahead and do the math the easy way. And the math Gallup uses is exactly the same math we're about to use on the chicken flock. Fair enough? Okay. Now that we've got that out of the way, we can do the math the easy way. Where's 1 in 3? That's not 1. It's 1 in 10,000. It's 1 in 10,000. That's not 1 in 3. That's actually really crappy odds, yes? But you would think there would be pretty crappy odds. If you buy 4 birds and they're all roosters,